The shock of Buckingham Palace initiating legal action against Prince Harry over security concerns tied to his memoir, Spare, has reverberated through public and legal circles alike. This unprecedented move centers on Harry's disclosure of the location of Queen Elizabeth II's private bedroom, a revelation that many view as an egregious lapse in judgment, potentially compromising not just the late Queen's safety at the time but the broader security framework surrounding the royal family. The publication of such sensitive information has fueled debates over the responsibilities and potential repercussions tied to personal storytelling when privacy and security are at stake. This lawsuit represents a high-stakes intersection of royal duty, public interest, and personal expression. Buckingham Palace, known for its calculated silence and discretion, has broken its usual protocol to pursue legal recourse, a clear indication of the seriousness with which it views the security breach. For Harry, the publication of Spare was an act of reclaiming his narrative, a way to present his side of a life steeped in scrutiny, familial conflict, and the relentless glare of public interest. Yet, his choice to include minute and private details has sparked a firestorm that questions the very limits of his storytelling. Legal analysts have noted that this case could become a landmark in how memoirs by public figures are handled legally. For years, famous personalities have walked a fine line between revealing their personal truths and protecting those still within their private spheres. In Prince Harry's case, what makes this more compelling and perilous is the involvement of national security concerns and the potential international implications. Should the court side with Buckingham Palace, it may reshape the conventions of memoir writing, especially for those who, like Harry, were or are connected to positions of influence. The reverberations of this lawsuit reach far beyond just Harry and the British royal family. Public reaction has been split along lines that reflect deep-seated views on privacy, transparency, and the role of modern monarchy. Supporters of Harry view him as a brave whistleblower willing to pierce the veil of royal mystique to reveal its human, and often troubled, heart. To them, Harry's narrative is a vital correction to decades of tightly managed public relations. Conversely, his critics see him as reckless, arguing that his willingness to divulge intimate details undermines not just his family's safety but also the broader sanctity of royal discretion. Particularly, the revelation about Queen Elizabeth II's private quarters has been branded by some commentators as a betrayal that reaches beyond mere family indiscretions. Security experts have pointed out that such a disclosure, if known earlier, could have posed a significant risk. While the Queen is no longer alive, the precedent set by disclosing such sensitive information about royal security locations could embolden threats or inspire unwanted imitations. Prince Harry's response to the palace's lawsuit has been marked by a mix of steadfastness and introspection. According to sources close to him, he has reiterated that his intentions were not to endanger anyone but to present an authentic portrait of his life, untainted by public relations teams or royal mandates. This position has been met with a mixed public response. To some, it resonates as a principled stand against decades of suffocating tradition. To others, it seems self-serving, a rationale that prioritizes personal catharsis over collective responsibility. What has fueled this case even further is the broader cultural and historical context. The British royal family has always existed as a paradox of visibility and secrecy. Its members are figures of immense public interest, and yet they are shielded by layers of privacy that few outsiders penetrate. This duality has allowed the monarchy to retain a certain mystique, essential for its survival in an age when hereditary institutions are increasingly questioned. Harry's decision to release Spare, and particularly, to include details like the layout of royal residences, tears at this veil, asking what cost transparency exacts. Experts suggest that the case may also impact how future memoirs are written by anyone tethered to positions of power or fame. Should the court side with the palace, it could lead to stricter regulations or self-imposed limitations on what individuals disclose in their personal writings, potentially changing the landscape of celebrity memoirs. Public figures would need to weigh not only the emotional and reputational tolls of sharing their stories but also the potential legal consequences, especially when family legacies and state interests are involved. The lawsuit also throws into sharp relief the larger ethical question of storytelling. How much of one's life belongs to the public when it intersects with others' privacy, especially those who might still be vulnerable? For Prince Harry, the story he wishes to tell is one of pain, loss, and a quest for identity outside the shadow of his more regal relatives. But the broader implications speak to a far more profound conundrum faced by all public figures: the collision between personal truth and the invisible yet ever-present boundaries of loyalty, security, and collective trust. The public reaction continues to evolve as the case unfolds. Some commentators have drawn parallels to past controversies involving royal figures and their dealings with the press, such as the turbulence surrounding Princess Diana, Harry's mother. Diana's story has long been emblematic of the struggle between private suffering and public life, a battle that Harry appears to be continuing, though with very different consequences. Yet the reception to Harry's transparency has its limits. As many rally behind him for breaking the chains of tradition, others see him stepping too far. The charge of revealing sensitive information, whether intended or inadvertent, risks permanently altering how the public perceives him. While the memoir has earned sympathy and admiration for its raw honesty, this lawsuit underscores that even deeply personal tales have boundaries that, when crossed, may lead to public and legal retribution. At its core, this conflict between Buckingham Palace and Prince Harry is a modern iteration of an age-old dilemma, balancing the yearning for self-expression with the obligations owed to those intertwined in that narrative. With potential legal precedents on the line, the stakes are as high as the fascination surrounding the case. As the public watches, captivated by each development, the outcome may well reshape not just Harry's future but the broader landscape of autobiographical storytelling for public figures in the years to come.